Good morning, everybody. Clearly, the message of the gospel today very, very powerful and powerful because the Lord repeats and repeats it. The message is humility. What is humility? What is the definition of humility? And I'd like to quote: a humble person is not the one who thinks meanly or lowly of himself. That is not humility. A humble person is not one who thinks lowly of himself or herself. A humble person is simply a person who does not think of himself or herself. Real humility is not knowing you are humble. In fact, humility is such a strange thing. The moment you think you're humble, you just lost it. It is like, excuse me for the comparison, it is like an underwear. Essential, but indecent if it shows. Gross, di ba? You see, we are not born humble. Look at children, look at even babies. Humility is something we learn. And there is a sure royal way of learning humility. How many of you think that, I want to learn to be humble? Raise your hand. Pati, thank you. How do we learn? The best way, the surest way of learning how to be humble is through humiliation. Ay nako. Humiliation. According to Saint Teresa of Calcutta, for every Christian, there is only two choices: to be humble, to choose to be humble, or to be humbled. Oh, wow. Be humble or stumble. Humble yourself or life will do it for you. That's how it is. The universe and the universe, meaning, knows precisely what humiliates us personally. And there are so many examples of moments, occasions, situations that, wow, makes us kneel with humility. A doctor, very famous, and has a child who's mentally challenged, and he can't do anything about it. A mother, a wife, very capable, great leader, very, very organized. She can really make things happen in whatever organization she belongs, and yet her children refuse to go to mass or attend any of her activities. Humbling, humiliating, to be effective everywhere else except in your own family. Very popular, appreciated in places of work, but their own family takes him for granted. This Miss Universe, who's so beautiful, not Miss Universe, meaning, one of those beauty queens, so beautiful, struck down by an unknown disease. And all that lost, humiliating. To have been once a famous actor or a famous actress, and now depending on alms from other people. Humiliating. And there are so many examples. We have only two choices: choose to be humble or be humbled. What a terrible thing. And so, because to be humble is necessary. Because according to the book of Sirach, which is part of the Old Testament books, wisdom book, it says that, and I quote, gold is tested in fire, and acceptable men and women in the furnace of abasement. End of quote. That is what finally tests a person. That is finally what makes the person, purified gold. Because you never know how strong you are until being strong is your only choice. But God doesn't ask us anything that he has not himself done personally. According to St. Matthew, and I quote, he humbled himself. He chose to humble himself. All the humiliation that Jesus went through, they were chosen by him. He humbled himself. How? By learning obedience. The human Jesus had to learn obedience. How? Through what he suffered. By being obedient to the point of death. And not just any death, not just any comfortable, glorious, no, death on a very humiliating way, death on the cross, death of criminals, death of bad people. And, St. Matthew continues, okay, he humbled himself to the point of death. Therefore, God exalted him, bestowed on him the name that is above every name. End of quote. This is God's SOP, standard operational procedure. When we humble ourselves, God exalts us. That is a condition. Let us not wait to be humbled. That's a terrible thing. It's unbearable almost. Let us not wait for that. Instead, let us choose to be humble. Choosing humility is to choose to live like Christ. Choosing humility is to choose putting other people's desires, other people's needs above my own needs, above my own desires. That is choosing humility. Choosing humility is letting the self disappear in the vision that God is everything I need. Let him vindicate. Because nothing will not be made known. Everything will be made known. Siya na ang bahala. I will not take matters into my own hands. Siya na ang bahala. He will be the one to vindicate. Everything will be revealed. One day, people will get to realize, ewan ko ba, there's no need to grandstand. Grandstanding, I don't know. Very, very few times I listen to, excuse me, the Senate or committees debating. Oh my goodness. Tapos na yung campaigning, they're still campaigning. And of course, the content and the wisdom suffers. Being humble has many benefits. It's good for the health. I don't say that people who are not healthy are proud, but it's good for the health. It brings people joy because there's no need to compete or to struggle or to prove anything. When we do something, no, and we still need to prove something to other people, that how good we are, how worthy we are, how whatever that is, you have to put 100% to do something good. But if you want to add, wanting to prove something, you have to put 300%. That's so stressful. So stressful. Instead, humility gives us true self-esteem, not based on what people think or what people might think. It gives us healing. It makes us close to other people. Instinctively, we have an aversion for people who are, ay nako, ang yabang. And most especially, intimacy with God. Humility makes us intimate with God because God is irresistibly seduced. Seduced, meaning he can't control himself. Irresistibly seduced by a humble person. Cannot help himself. And of course, the Blessed Mother comes to our mind. What was, the Blessed Mother has only three virtues. Humility, humility, and humility. That is why she was able to exclaim, God who is mighty has done great things to me because he has seen the lowliness, the nothingness of his servant. May that be our same hymn. At the end of our life, to be able to say that he has done marvels for me because he has seen how nothing I am, how nobody I am. Bigyan nyo na sa kanilang lahat yun. Bigyan nyo na sa kanila. We would rather want to, yes, seduce God. Now, if everything else doesn't work, what might work is choose to be humble or be humiliated. In the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit, amen. Let us pause and listen to God, what he's telling us personally. We have these gifts that bless. And what is beautiful about these gifts is they come in a beautiful box that, you don't need actually to wrap it anymore. The box are so beautiful. They are all included already in these items that cannot be found elsewhere. These are things that, people who find difficult to, who seem to have everything that, will be good for them. And these are wonderful help for the building of the Ephesus house. They bless the receiver, they bless the building of the Ephesus house, and they bless the giver herself. So thank you very much.
Let's have a photo.